All right. If you haven't already, drop in the chat where you're joining from today, get an idea of where everyone's at. I am legitimately so happy that you're here. If you know me, you probably know this is my biggest passion right now. I am genuinely so excited about the capabilities of AI that I'm shouting it from every rooftop that I can find. And honestly, for no other reason than I just genuinely enjoy it. To me, it feels like magic, and I want to share that magic with anyone who wants it for themselves. And I want to be excited about with you about what you're building. If we haven't met, I'm Beth. I've been an executive assistant for 12 years. I know most of you are EAs. And if you're not, that's totally okay. This content is relevant to anyone who has a computer or works in spreadsheets. Before we jump in, and as I continue talking a little bit, I'm curious who here has used AI for spreadsheets before. So if you could let us know in the chat, no worries if you haven't. I'm just curious, like where everyone's at on their journey with this in particular. Lastly, I would be lying to you if I said I was an expert in this stuff. It's a passion project. I'm curious, I'm exploring, and I'm interested, and I use it a lot. Beyond that, I have no professional training. So I don't actually have the answers to everything. And anything I don't have the answer to, I ask Claude for anyways. With that, I'll say this is a collaborative working session. This is a community. We all have a voice. I'll lead us through, but if you know something that I don't, I would love to hear from you because I enjoy the learning process as well. Okay. What you'll walk away with today, at the bare minimum, a better spreadsheet than when you started, hopefully. Next is confidence that you can do this again, hopefully for future spreadsheets and other tasks moving forward. And lastly, this is the biggest one, reflex and inspiration. And what I mean by reflex is that my hope is once you experience the magic that I'm talking about, the level up, that you're inspired to ask yourself how AI can help you, not with just spreadsheets, but with everything moving forward. Here's how we're going to get there. I'm going to briefly cover some basics. I'm going to show you a demo, and then you'll open up Claude and execute for yourself. At the end, depending on how much time we have, we can have a couple folks do a show and tell. I think everybody loves a good before and after. This is, again, no pressure. You don't have to show anything if you don't want to. This is only if you're up for it. Okay, a couple more things. Here's how we'll work together over the next hour. You can ask questions by using the chat, raising your hand in Zoom, or just coming off mute. There's no like hard and fast rules. Other than speaking of mute, it would be great if you could keep yourself muted if you're not talking. Since this is a working session, feel free to turn down the volume of me or us talking so that you can focus on like the thing that you're trying to do. Or if you want to turn us down so that you can dictate, which we'll talk about in a second, and join the conversation whenever you want. Lastly, because you'll all be working on something, there might be pauses, and I'm not going to try to fill every space with me talking so that you can actually work. So no awkward silence here. We're all working. Any questions on like any of that level setting before we jump in? Cool. If anything comes up, feel free to drop it in the chat. Okay, quick basics so we're all on the same page. What is vibe coding? I've been using this word a lot and it's kind of like abstract until you start doing it. Essentially, vibe coding is describing what you want in plain language and letting AI handle the technical part, if it involves a technical part. Do I have to be really good at writing prompts to vibe code? The answer is no. I know my screen is blank. I'll bring up the bullets in a second. Essentially, knowing how to prompt is something called prompt engineering. Here's the thing. I like executing, and I like executing quickly. And I have seen amazing lists of helpful prompts that I've like bookmarked and like want to come back to later. But when I need something done, I'm probably not going to go hunt down a prompt that I bookmarked somewhere. I'm more likely I'm going to open up Claude and start talking or typing and executing. And there's nothing wrong with writing the perfect prompt if you have the time and the patience for that. But sometimes this becomes a barrier for people. They think they have to like know how to do this, get fundamentals, or like go find a perfect prompt. I just want to say that that barrier does not exist. I have vibe coded extremely complex things just by typing my stream of consciousness. And I don't even fix my typos, so don't judge me for that. But this is just my permission that lazy prompting is totally okay and you can do that today. So, how do you do that? This is what I call lazy girl prompting. You just start typing. That's it. You literally open the chat, stream of consciousness, start typing. Or open a place to dictate. That can be within Claude or ChatGPT. Open an Apple Note on your phone or a Google Doc and dictate, and then you can copy and paste it into the Claude chat. If it's a complex thing that you're trying to do, that you're working on, and you feel like your stream of consciousness, like you're not sure how it's coming out, ask Claude to do it for you. So there's nothing wrong with before you start executing to say, hey, here are my thoughts. Write me a good prompt I can give Claude. You can literally ask Claude to write you a prompt for Claude. So let it literally do everything for you, and then you can refine what it gives back to you. Any question on prompting? I will also give like long pauses of silence just to see if anyone wants to come off mute. Okay. The process. So as I mentioned, the process is simple. You're going to describe what you want in plain language. Um, Claude is going to give you an output and then you will test it. Or if it's giving you a spreadsheet, you'll see if it's what you want. It's not going to be perfect the first time. There might be a lot of iterations. So you'll make adjustments and refine and then eventually have a working solution. Okay, so let's demo this. Let's see it in action. I'm going to open Claude here. By the way, this is going to be like a cooking show where I'm actually not going to show you everything live. I've already cooked the meal. I'm just going to show you the pieces I put together to get there. Um, okay, so this is Claude. Oh wait, can you guys see my screen? Okay, yeah, you got it. So here is the Claude chat interface if you're not super familiar. There's a drop down right here, which has a list of models you can choose from. Haiku is like the fastest, lightest model. Sonnet is good for like everyday things. And then Opus is the big daddy. This is my all day, everyday model because it's so robust and it works so well. But it's expensive and it requires a lot of compute. So if you have a pro plan, you have a limited number, like a limited amount of usage on your account. Opus will take up the most usage in the shortest amount of time. So if you're using it a lot, you might hit your limits faster. Be careful. It's like gambling. It's like once you get the rush of like seeing everything Opus can do, you'll want to use it for everything. Okay, so let's take a look at my starting point at the spreadsheet that I want to use today. My starting point is an offsite example. Many of you are probably familiar with planning offsites, and let me zoom in a little bit here so it's easier to see. Oops. Um, okay, so this is my pre-AI offsite example. This is like an old spreadsheet that I've scrubbed, I've removed all company data and put generic names in. Okay, so what I have here is like an overview tab of like my offsite objective, some like manual status updates, some attendee information, and whatnot. I have a few other tabs here. I've got a tasks tab. This is very robust. It's like almost like too detailed. But this is just what I've put together over the years of all the things I need to do when planning an offsite. I've got my research of all the venues that I've reached out to. This is where I've documented all the research. Some like venue cost calculation so I could see all the numbers side by side. And lastly, an attendee list so I can track who's going to be there and kind of all their preferences and things like that. Again, this is like not complete. I'm just showing you an example. So how can Claude help me with this? I'm going to go into the chat that I used for this. And the first prompt I gave it, I'm going to scroll up in my chat. The first prompt I gave it after cleaning up all the data was I didn't really know what I wanted, so I just gave it a generic prompt. My prompt was reformat and design my entire spreadsheet, include an executive summary dashboard, add a tab that includes all of the planning tasks from the attached Excel sheet. So I had given it all of those tasks, put it in the most logical format. I don't even really know what this means. I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to see what it could do. So let's again go back and see this is what I started with. And then the first iteration of what Claude delivered was this. So it's reorganized some things. It's given me like information about my budget, how many venues I evaluated. Remember, I didn't ask it specifically to do this. This is just, I told it to do what it wanted, and this is what it output. Talks about my venue, gives me a budget breakdown, some milestones, more details on the venue we selected. So this is nice. It's like it's a better, definitely an upgrade, a level up from what I initially had.
Sorry,
Sorry, I see.
Beth.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you just scroll? We're seeing just like column G and H. Can you just scroll all the way to the left so that we can see like the output?
Sure. Is anyone
Or
else having that issue, or can you see my?
No, I
no?
could
Am
see
I?
everything.
It's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll
Yeah, no
figure it out.
worries.
Sorry.
Maybe it's a zoom in feature if you can zoom
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Okay, so this is the dashboard I put together. Now let's go check out that tasks tab. So I had it, this is what I had initially. And here's what it did. I feel like it made it simpler. I like this better. It seems more digestible. The one thing I saw about this, and I was like, oh, I don't know how this would work. Like, if I want to filter, use a filter on these columns, how can I do that if I have these like bars for each phase? Because it won't filter right. So I'm just noting that like when I go back and make changes, I'm going to ask it to make that change. Venue comparison, pretty similar. Venue costs, and the attendee list looks more cleaned up and better as well. Okay, so I've got that. It's an upgrade. But now I'm going to ask it for the changes. So what I said was, I want the dashboard to be updated in real time. And what I mean by that is over here, it's pasted like, okay, venue selection is complete. Contract status is in progress. But I don't want to have to manually update that. I want to see if it can just like use formulas to figure this out for me and have it updated in real time. So I'm going to specify and say, please use formulas for everything so it's real time, pulling data from the other tabs. I also want to be able to use filters on the planning tasks. So I'm not sure if that phase stuff needs to be organized differently. I see how casual I'm being. I am not prompt engineering perfectly here. I'm literally talking like I'm talking to like my friend or something. Okay, so what does it give me after this? Here are the revisions. It's now giving me a task status section, and it's using formulas to calculate these percentages. It's giving me key metrics and uses formulas for these as well in case I change any of this on my tabs. It's doing a couple other things here. It's showing me tasks by phase. If I was really refining this, I'd probably like, I don't need to see all these phases and whatnot, but, and then it's giving me my budget. Okay, let's take a look at the planning tasks. Remember how it had those sections where I didn't think I'd be able to filter? Well, little Claudius, our friend, has given me filters because I'm going to want to use that, and has removed the titles. Attendee list, roughly the same, looks a little different. Venue comparison. I noticed when I clicked venue comparison that like all of my hours and hours of research and data isn't here, but I wanted to see that. So I'm going to ask it to add it back. And then I've got the budget data tab. Okay. So basically this process now, I'm still refining. So we're going to get somewhere soon with an end product. I said, hey, what happened to all my venue comparison data? That was super valuable. So he's like, oh, you're right. I stripped that out. Let me add it back in. And I won't show you that one because it's pretty much the same. But then I was like, wait, I need like a budget tab to show everything. Like I want to see swag and all of that. So do a holistic but detailed analysis of my sheet for planning. I need a comprehensive budget tracker. What else am I missing? Like do an analysis and let me know before building another version. So this is an instance where I'm just going to kind of iterate before I want it to give me anything back. Okay, so it's telling me what critical gaps are identified. Yeah, I need a budget tracker. It's flagging here that there's a task ownership crisis, like only 5 people have tasks assigned, but we're not going to worry about that. It's just sample data. My attendee list is incomplete. Then it's going to give me a recommended new structure. So it's going to recommend I add 8 new sheets to my whole spreadsheet. And then it asks me some questions like, do you want all 8 new sheets or just priority ones? Do you have actual spend data to populate or do you just want the structure? So it's asking me clarifying questions. I'm going to answer those questions, say, yeah, just give me all the sheets because I can remove them later. I answer these questions. We do a little bit more discussing. One of the more complex things I asked it in my follow-up, I said, I actually want to automate the attendee info. Like, I want to be able to send a Google form, and when people fill that out with their attendee info, I want it to automatically populate my spreadsheet so that I don't have two spreadsheets. Can I do that? And then we start discussing it. And it says, yes, you can fill out a Google form and it can update your spreadsheet. So this is just like a side quest I'm on in the process of this. Any questions? Am I moving at an okay speed? Good. Okay. Okay, so we're going back and forth here. I also had a facilitator agenda that I used on the back end, kind of like my run of show, like, hey, make sure you put your notepads out, make sure you drop the swag in their hotel rooms or whatever these things I need to do are. And I want to build that run of show into this master spreadsheet. Casey, to answer your question, yes, Claude is building the spreadsheet for me. And sorry, this you're not seeing that process because this is like a cooking show and I've already cooked. But essentially, when I ask it these things, it's giving me an attachment at the end. Let me see where I can find here. Well, in the chat, it gives me an attachment and then I open it up. You can either download it as an Excel file, or if you have your Google account connected to Claude, you can open up directly in Sheets. Okay, so I asked it to include the facilitator agenda. I want a run of show. Here it's recommending some things around like my RSVPs and how to collect those. Scrolling down. All right, it asked me if I want to do separate tabs, like a separate run of show for each day. I say yes. And then for the Google form, I'm like, I'll deal with that later. Let's keep moving. So let's see the next version it's given me. It has now, okay, so this is my executive dashboard. I have a lot more tabs now. Remember, it asked if I wanted to add 8 tabs, and now I have a bunch of run of shows. So let's see like what it's put together. So I can scroll through. I've got my planning tasks, my attendee list. Now my attendee list is this is more robust because it's going to be pulling in directly from the Google form I send out. And then it's breaking down some of the details, like if I just want to see the flight manifest of everyone's travel times or my hotel roster, or just pull up their dietary preferences or emergency contacts. Let's see here. One of the things, oh, yeah, the budget tracker. Sorry, this was the new edition, right? So this is showing me not just like the venue, it's showing me like food and beverage, meeting space, activities, and all of that. And remember, I built none of this. Claude did all of this by coding in the background, building a spreadsheet, and giving me the output. Let's take a look at the run of shows. So here it's giving me a checkbox to mark off like what each item I need to do as I'm getting started for each day. So I've got one for each day. Okay. This is where I'm going to kind of transition a little bit, like just stopping for a second. This is like what you would leave with today is like starting with your spreadsheet. We've come all this way. I've got like a pretty good thing that I can refine, delete some tabs if I want to, and like continue refining on this. I'd say this is an achievable result for today. But I'm going to show you 2 more things that are like the next step. Or maybe you're already using Claude for spreadsheets and you kind of already know all of this. I'm not sure what the experience levels are here. So the next 2 things I show you will be like the progression, the next steps, like the magic. Okay. The next thing is called a skill. Claude has the ability to remember things like a skill. One of these skills, the best thing to use it for is like your brand guidelines. So you see how on my spreadsheet, like it kind of just formatted this however it wanted, it added colors, but say I want it to match my company's brand guidelines. What I can do is I can create a skill in Claude, drop in like our PowerPoint deck or our brand guidelines and have it saved so that anytime I want to apply those brand guidelines, I use that skill. So, how do you build a skill in Claude? The same way that I've kind of showed you the lazy girl prompting, you just, hey, Claude, I want to build a skill for saving my brand guidelines. And then you drop in your brand guidelines deck. I've got one here in this folder. I can just drag and drop it. I've already done this. So what Claude is going to do is it's going to do its thing and it's going to give you a set of files, a zip folder. And it's going to look like this. You're going to download it. It says files.zip. In the bottom of your screen, you're going to go to settings and you're going to enable skills so that you can upload this skill. And you do that by going to capabilities and scrolling all the way down to the bottom where you see skills, and it'll show you what skills you have. And you can click add skill, and this is where you can drag and drop or import that skill file that it gave you, that zip folder. Once you import that zip folder, now Claude knows what your brand guidelines are and it can use that skill. You toggle it on. So you'll see right now I have 2 skills. Okay, I'm going back now to my chat that I've been having. Just make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, so I want to use this skill now. I have my vibe coding for EA's branding uploaded as a skill. I say apply my vibe coding branding to this deck, the one we built the skill for. And this is what it output. So now I'm like, oh, I like this way better than whatever generic like stuff you were giving me before. This looks so good. So I'm going to scroll through and kind of see what else this looks like. I've got my planning task. Oh, it's pretty. It's purple. It's black. It's clean. I like it. Um, okay, so this is great. Now, this is again another level up. We're not going to get here today. Just want to show you what's possible. Now I'm thinking, well, like this is so cool and I really like this formatting. When the attendees attend the offsite, it would be great if they could see like a schedule, like what the daily schedule is. That's going to look different than my run of show. I want something attendee facing. And normally you can do this by like giving them a PDF, a link to a Google Doc or a Google Sheet. But I want to know if there's like a better way I can do that. So I'm going to ask Claude. By the way, I ran out of usage at this point in my chat, so I had to open a new chat. So I'm going to go over to that one. I'm going to say add an attendee schedule tab to the worksheet so attendees can see their daily schedule. This is different than the run a show, which is behind the scenes for me. You can add all the days to a single tab. I don't need individual tabs. Make sure to include important things they need to know. I don't even specify. I just say make sure to include that. And here's what Claude gives me. This is the attendee schedule. So it's included important things like the hotel, the phone number, Wi-Fi, the dress code, what to bring. I don't even tell it any of this. I can change it if I need to. And then it's going to add the agenda for each day. Now, as I mentioned, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like this is something I would give to attendees. But is there like an even better way? Like it would be cool if they could pull this up on their phone, like an app, like just something super easy. And so this is where I asked Claude to use something called Google App Script. This is a part of the Google Workspace, so it can pull directly from like Sheets or Docs or Slides, whatever. It's all connected in the Google Workspace. And I said, can we create like a web app with Google Script to turn the attendee schedule, not any other tab, into something the attendees can view from their computer or their phone for easy viewing? And it's like, yeah, I'll create a Google Apps script that pulls from the attendees schedule tab and displays it beautifully on any device. And so then it's told me done. I've created a Google Apps script that reads directly from your attendee schedule, and here's what you get. Web app features, a mobile first design, and here's how you set it up. We're not going to go into like the nitty gritty of this. I'll give a quick overview. Again, this is like a future thing that you can do, the capabilities, not what you need to do today, unless you really want to. So let's see how I do this. It's saying upload your spreadsheet to Google Drive if it's not already, and open it with Google Sheets. Here's what I've got. This is my Google Sheet. I've got my whole dashboard here, including the schedule. Up in the extensions tab, you'll see something called Google App Script. Maybe you've never noticed this before. It is like, it's incredible how powerful this is, and I'll show you how. So if I click on Google App Script, it's going to bring me, oh, let me actually show you on this tab here. Extensions, app script. I'm going to show you a blank example of what this looks like. This is where like the vibe coding really comes into play. This is like an unfamiliar territory for non-technical people. This is a space where code is pasted. We might not have experience with this. It's okay. We don't need any. All we're going to do is do exactly what Claude tells us. And what does Claude tell us to do? It says, open app script, done. in code.gs, delete the existing code and paste the contents of code.gs. Here's code.gs. And I could just click copy here. I don't even have to know what it means. All I'm doing is doing what Claude said. Claude said to delete the entire contents of this first. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to paste what it gave me. Okay, let's see what it says next. Create a new HTML file. Click plus. The plus is here. And then it says select HTML. Okay. And then it says to name it index. So I'm going to name it index. And then it says paste the context of index.html. All right, here's my HTML. This is all my code. Again, I have no idea what any of this means, but I'm going to delete all of this and paste it. Let's see what it says next. Whoops. Click deploy. Select deploy and then new deployment. Okay, so I'm going to click deploy, new deployment. And then it says select web app. Set who has access to anyone. Okay, select web app. Who has access, either only myself or anyone. And then I click deploy. I'm not going to click deploy because this is something I've already cooked. I've already done this. But let's see what happens. Like, what is the output of when I do all of these things? It's going to, when I get to the final screen of this, it's going to give me a URL. It's like, here's your web app. This is that thing you asked for that I built you. And what does it look like? This is what it gave me. So this is a website that anybody could access. I could send this to you right now. Actually, maybe I'll just do that so you guys can see it. Sending it in the chat. This is a website. And this is like my attendee view. They can see all the quick info. This is interactive. They can select on which day they want to see and what the schedule is for that day. They can minimize the schedule each day or expand it. At the bottom, there's notes and reminders like, hey, final agenda is coming 1 week before the event. Download the survey, submit your expenses, and you can automate, you can adjust any of this. It can say whatever you want. You just tell Claude what you want it to say. Yes, this is incredible. This is the magic moment right here. This is the thing where I'm saying, like, we started with a basic spreadsheet, but we landed on like a freaking web app that attendees can open while they're at the event and have all this information super accessible. And this is also, like it had mentioned, this is mobile responsive. So this is like what it looks like on the phone. It looks great. Like it's not funky. They can click on the days, same exact thing that I'm seeing on the computer here. And all they need is the URL to this. You just share this with your attendees. Okay, that is my super long demo spiel. We're about 30 minutes in. Any thoughts here? Any like questions about the process? I kind of talked nonstop, so.
I'm very impressed.
Oh, you couldn't open the file. You know what? I think I actually deployed it with only access for me, so that's probably why. App scripts. I'm going to come back really here just so you guys can see this. Deploy, new deployment. Oops, I mean, manage deployment. I'm going to edit who can see this. Only access anyone. Deploy. So this is what I was mentioning when you get to the last screen, it gives you all the URLs here. So I'm going to copy this web app URL. Okay, there we go. So I just sent that to you guys. Okay, now that you've kind of seen how this works, it's time to have the working session and to like see how this can work for you. Okay, so if you have a spreadsheet, now's a great time to Beth, do you manually create your original spreadsheet or is that Claude created? That was my original spreadsheet, but you can also start completely from scratch and just tell Claude, same thing, lazy girl prompting, stream of consciousness, tell it what you want and ask it to create your first spreadsheet for you. So if you're here and you don't have a spreadsheet you want to work on, but there's something you have an idea for, you can also start that way and it will give you something just as robust. Casey, yes, it would be extra cool if you can clean up the URL. And yes, you could put it in a URL shortener, like tiny URL, Or if you have a domain that you want to use, like if you want to spend a couple bucks for like your, summer offsite, you can go buy a domain for a couple bucks and have it redirect there. So they can just go to like summeroffsite.com and then it redirects directly to this Google App Script. Again, what I just showed you with Google App Script is only for Google Workspace users. If you are in Microsoft, I don't know if there's an equivalent of this, so it might not be relevant to everybody if you're in Microsoft.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
We don't have access to Claude yet. We're working hard at trying to
Mhm.
get access. Can we do this in ChatGPT as well, or is it just like a Claude thing?
Okay, this is such a good question. Claudius, oh, my best friend. ChatGPT used to be my best friend. I used to have it open, used to use it for everything. Nyla, I know you're on a first name basis with ChatGPT. She calls ChatGPT just chat. She refers to my first name. I used to use ChatGPT for everything. I started using Claude, and I just started to notice that the output, the results were so much better. So over the weekend, I actually wanted to test this because I wondered if this question would come up. So over the weekend, super nerdy of me, I did a case study and I wanted to test ChatGPT versus Claude in a use case like this. So here's what I did. I tested all of the Claude models, a lot of the ChatGPT models and Gemini. I gave them all the same task, which is to redo one of my spreadsheets. Um, and the outputs, I'll give you the TLDR. Claude is the only one that produced something that was practical and usable. So let me tell you why. Claude gave me results all in under 2 minutes. So when we're making these spreadsheets, under 2 minutes for a really robust spreadsheet. ChatGPT, it kind of like errored out. It like freaked out, like didn't know what to do. The results it gave me, if I even got a result, were not that great. So the only one that I was actually able to use was produced by ChatGPT 5.2 Pro, and it took 40 minutes after that first prompt for it to give me even one result. And so in this case study, I have everything linked of like the comparisons of what each one gave me. The other chat GPT models either errored out or what it gave me was like completely unusable. Like it gave me this, like didn't have any of my data. Everything was just like an error. Gemini too, like Gemini lost itself. It totally like what didn't give me anything. So that's the answer on Claude versus ChatGPT for this particular use case. I will also say that I am not married to any one AI tool. Because they're changing so fast, ChatGPT could come out with a model tomorrow that far surpasses Claude, and I'd be open to like, going back. But right now, this is the best tool that we have for this.
Thanks.
Mhm.
That's amazing. You did all that work.
Oh yeah, it's like genuinely fun. I like have no hobbies outside of that. So okay, so I'm gonna be quiet and let you guys open Claude, work on your spreadsheet, and then I'm just here for questions. Again, if I'm annoying or if we're talking a lot, feel free to turn us down and just like see what you can come up with. At the end, we'll do a little show and tell and see if anyone wants to share.
Will the Claude like free version, can it do work with spreadsheets or
Unless they've changed something, as far as I'm aware, Claude doesn't allow you to attach Excel files or like attachments in the free version. You can try it and see if it works, but if I remember correctly, it doesn't. And then you also won't have access to Opus, which is kind of okay. Sonnet will work for things like this too. So if you all want to do like tests for yourself and try Sonnet versus Opus, you can see the differences.
I have another question. So, uh, maybe I should share my
Yeah,
screen.
go for it. Let me just allow, yeah, multiple participants can share, so go for it.
Okay. Okay. So I gave it a spreadsheet, and then it says I've transformed your messy spreadsheet into a beautiful resource hub. And then, like, where do I find it?
Oh, okay. So what it's done here is it's actually given you um like a HTML view. So it's actually not a spreadsheet. It didn't actually create you a spreadsheet. It created you like something else. This is like something that you could like almost deploy like an app. So we need to be more specific and say, I actually want an Excel file.
This would be cool though. Is this like where I would be able to go and just like search? Like the hub is like restaurants, hotels in
Yeah.
different cities
Yeah.
where you can like search.
Yeah. So you could do that. So I think that, well, first, are you trying to have it like up level your existing spreadsheet, or do you just want the interface, like the search function?
Um, Either, both.
Okay. So I'd say like first you want it to help you level up your raw data, like your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So I think like first you'll be specific in asking it, like I want a leveled up spreadsheet, not just the dashboard view.
Level, I can spell that.
Like I told you, typos, whatever, send
I
them. It
know.
knows.
And not just a dashboard.
Look at you, you're vibe coding, not even having to write anything yourself.
So cool. I am very excited about the possibilities.
Yeah, and this is the snowball effect. This is the magic. It's like it starts here, but like you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to get my company to approve Claude if you have any suggestions.
Yeah. So the way I got it is I think I requested it from IT and they were like, nope, only for engineers. And then I went to my executive. I'm like, hey, so like I'm paying out of pocket for like all this. And she's like, tell them to give you a license. I'm like, okay. So I used the executive card on that one, and maybe that would be helpful.
That probably would be. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
even honestly, Carrie, is like, I don't think a lot of people fully understand. Like when I'm walking around and I'm like, do you know that like your spreadsheet could be like an app in like 5 minutes? I don't think most people know. So I think sharing the magic with them and like showing them like the capabilities, then it could click like, oh, this is something that we need to invest
Yeah.
in.
All right. What happened? Where is it now?
Okay, let's see. Perfect. Now you have a leveled up spreadsheet.
I know the base. I'm using the basic, so that's probably why it's not as great.
Okay. Say, ask it where the attachment is. Like, say, where is the attachment for me to download? I think that's what's happening, Carrie, is I think that it might not have the ability to like give you the file because of your
Yeah.
plan. And it's like confused now. It's like, oh, I thought I sent it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am curious though. You see at the top right there where it says copy, in your top
Yeah.
right, the button.
Yeah.
See the little drop down next to it? Yeah. So it's just a text file. It's not like an actual file.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
issue here.
Okay. No worries.
Okay, so let's work for like 2 more minutes. And then if anyone wants to share what they've worked on, like maybe a before and after, or just where you're currently at to what you're working on, that would be awesome.
So I put it in ChatGPT instead, and it asked me to switch to ChatGPT thinking. Have you heard
Uh-huh.
of this?
When I tested it last weekend, it didn't ask me to do that. It just tried to execute. So yeah, you can try ChatGPT thinking, and that's when I used that model, that's what took 40 minutes. So I'd actually be curious if you do the same thing, like if it gives you an answer faster than 40 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I know it's still thinking. So you use thinking or you didn't?
I did, yes, I did
Okay.
test thinking. Let me see which one was the one that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can, yeah, use. Actually, okay, I have like a few different ChatGPT accounts. So, one of them, the only one that actually worked for me is 5.2 Pro, which is actually a thinking model. It's also a thinking model. But I also did test the one you are talking about, which is just ChatGPT 5.2 thinking. That one went for like 18 plus minutes and then it said lost network connection. I didn't lose a network connection because all of my other models were running. But something happened and it just gave me an error. So,
Okay. Yeah, I have ChatGPT 5.2. I don't know. It doesn't say Pro, I guess. Let's see.
it should say up in the upper left-hand corner, like what model it is.
Okay. Yeah, right now it says 5.2 thinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the one for me that failed. So maybe you'll have a better result. Okay. Anyone else here have something they're working on that wants to share like a before and after or share where you're at with what you started working on?
I can share, but I can't share the screen because it has confidential data.
Cool, no problem.
So basically, I'm at Block, and we do have Claude in our own. It's called G2, and my executive asked me yesterday to analyze 26 of her skip level reports and see which ones of those manage only individual contributors and
Mhm.
which ones manage other managers. And I'm
Perfect
like,
use case.
I'm gonna have to go through the hub and look up each and every one of them, right? Lovely. So after what you said, I went to the Claude. I actually am using Haiku model and had it analyze it, and it's connected to the Google spreadsheet that I fed it, and it's also connected to our hub because internally it's approved. And it came back to me, and I had to double check it. Made a couple of errors. I'm like, is that quite right? And I'm triple checking it now, but it just saved me like an hour, maybe.
Amazing, amazing. Sarah, question. What was the reasoning for using haiku?
It was just what was on, and I didn't even look at
Okay.
it. So I like Opus for writing best, in my opinion. I write for myself, and it has really good like language capabilities. But seemingly Haiku was good enough
Yeah.
to sift through the data, without like being eloquent, so to speak.
Right, right. Okay, great. That's awesome. I'd almost be curious to see how the other models like would execute the same task, if you'd have less errors or if it's
Yeah.
just equal.
Yeah, I could try that actually later. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share?
I can.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right. And really quickly, like I've done all this manually in the past. And then last year I did have AI like help me, but it was me in a whole different program doing it. And I really thought that I would be doing a script, which I've been doing with other things. And I find it easy with AI help. But this was amazing. Like I had no idea I could even just go into regular Claude and be able to do this. So
Yeah,
I just want to preface it with that. All right. So
great.
hold on. Sorry, I got to get the right desktop. Okay, so my raw sheet that I just uploaded to Claude is this one. So this is from a Google form, type form that came through and just has all the raw data. And I've anything in black, I'm just names, obviously, I'm
Yeah.
taking out. Um, so it's just got all this raw data. And I had an idea of how I wanted to organize it, but I loved from your demo, Beth, about just giving it like a general one at first. So I said, I want you to take the spreadsheet, help me make it my master planning sheet. Here are the dates. Here's the title. And then start out with just your general organization as you see fit. And I want to make sure I have a dashboard. And it started with this, which was, again, I'm sorry with the black, but it's
It's
just
okay.
blacking out the names. But this dashboard is amazing to me. That it's just very basic stuff that I would want to have specified, especially the pickleball activity, because we have all these different, like, which bracket, what is your skill? How many people do we have? Like, to me, I was manually doing that before. Logistics of arrival day and all that is great. And then the other big thing that I really did that took me forever before was, sorry, let me just get to this one, figuring out airport shuttles. So by arrival day, if they're within like a 20-minute arrival time, who would be taking Ubers together? And it did that here, where it's telling me the time window of the people. It's listing out the three different people's names here, what flight numbers they're on, if it's Midway or O'Hare. I
I
mean,
love
this
it.
is crazy that
Oh,
this
it's so
happened
cool.
within, what was that, a 15-minute period?
Yes, exactly. That is amazing.
It's amazing.
And it's like takes so much off the mental load of like, okay, this person's arriving at this time. That's just so
Yeah. And
awesome.
like, I'm going to screw it up if I get like one
Yeah.
little thing wrong. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's also nice too because if you have anybody else who's contributing to the planning process, like being able to use like these spreadsheets on your planning calls or to show your executive if you ever have to update them, it's just so nice. Anyone else have any examples they want to share? Okay, a couple minutes left.
And mine's still thinking.
Okay, yes. Carrie, you're probably going to be there all day, so I'm sorry. If anything else, this is probably just motivation to fork over the $20 because it's pretty incredible.
Oh, for $20, like I could get Claude on my own.
Yeah.
Not like a crazy expensive license.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's $20 for the pro
Oh,
plan.
wow. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Lisa, Petra had a question in the chat. Did you already have the flight data or was that pulled as a part of your question?
So I already had that because I did a type form that people fill out when they book their flights that add all those questions into one big form. And then I just gave it that raw spreadsheet that had all that info.
Okay, so we did our show and tell. With the last few minutes here, I'd love to just do a couple announcements. Next is next working session is next a week from Sunday, Sunday, January 26th at 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern. This is on building slide decks and presentations with AI, so very similar. I want to try a Sunday session because I know we all have day jobs, including myself. So I wanted to see how this worked for everyone. So you can register by scanning this QR code here. Oh yeah, Carrie, and this is open to anyone. There's some people on this call that aren't Mafia. Anyone can join this. And you don't even have to be an EA. Like if you just know somebody who wants these types of skills, they can join too. So on this session, we're going to do two things. One is build a slide deck with Claude, just like we did with our spreadsheet. And the other is we're going to build a slide deck with a tool called Gamma. That's gamma.app. This is another new AI tool. There is a free version of Gamma. I think there's like limited capabilities, but for the sake of testing it, we will be able to test Gamma together on that session and see like side by side what the differences are with Claude and with a tool like Gamma. Let me drop in the link to the chat in case you like don't have your phone. I'm going to drop in a link to the chat of how to register for this session. Okay, next here. Okay, this is my big announcement, you guys. I'm so excited about this, Carrie. This is actually going to knock your socks off if you liked that Google Apps Script thing. There is a company called Loveable, and this is the news I'm super excited about. They're going to sponsor a vibe coding for EA's workshop. Loveable is one of the fastest growing startups in actual history. It took them 8 months to get to 100 million ARR. And then 4 months later, this past December, they hit 200 million in ARR. So what is Loveable? It is an AI powered app builder that lets you create like full stack web applications just by describing what you want in plain language by vibe coding. Why is this awesome for us? It's awesome because this is one of the most beginner-friendly vibe coding tools out there, kind of next to Google Apps Script. But With Google Apps Script, you're like limited to the Google Workspace. With Loveable, you can literally build an app within minutes. Carrie, this thing that you showed, your use case, you can build that in Loveable in probably like an hour or something. So to maximize participation, because this is such a great opportunity, I will survey those who are interested to find the best date. So you can sign up on the website to receive emails, and then also get updates in the Slack workspace, which I'll send a link to. Okay, next here. Let's stay connected. I would love to connect on LinkedIn. You can scan this QR code for us to connect. And then here's the QR code to join the Slack community. The vibe coding for EA Slack community, we have a couple different channels in there. Announcements. I am so obsessed with this stuff that I'm constantly reading up. So I'll send like news articles or like new AI tools or anything that could be helpful information. This space is moving very, very fast, and it's like practically a full-time job to just keep up with all the new capabilities. So that's where I'll drop what's currently happening. Also, like what we're building. I think it's so cool to be able to share these use cases and get inspired by each other. So we can share what we're working on, or if you get stuck, which will happen while you're vibe coding. This happens. It's a frustrating thing, but the more you get stuck, the more you learn. Lisa, I know you've had some experience with this. So if you get stuck, we can talk about it there. I'll drop the hyperlinks for both of these in the chat as well. And then lastly, how did it go today? I know we're 1 minute over, so if you have to jump, no problem. I know everyone here probably understands how valuable a survey is. I would be so grateful if we could just spend like 2 minutes filling out this survey right now while it's fresh of an experience for you. It's 5 questions, only 3 of them are required, totally anonymous. You can be honest. I am here to help you. I want to get better at this too and learn from it. So feel free to fill out the survey. Again, it's totally anonymous. And would appreciate your feedback. So while we do that, I'm going to blast my vibe coding for EA's song one more time while you fill this out, and then feel free to leave whenever works for you. So thank you everybody for joining. I genuinely am so happy. I hope this unlocked something for you today, and I hope you can join the future sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Of course.
Loved it.
Thanks, B.
Sure thing.
Something shifted. My screen feels strange today. I'm in the calendar and inbox, but I feel one step away from something bigger. And I don't know what it is. Where do I fit in all of this? It's a story that I learned. But these tiny daily frictions keep my patience getting burned. What if all that wicked is a good hearted joy? If I just say what I'm thinking, could it open up a door? By putting the workflow, I just talk like me. Still be simple, send this, then set me free. I don't need the jargon, I describe what I go through. We live inside the workflow, so we know what they should do. I try percent things like this when it feels like this. If they say search, you
Can you put this
this and
QR code for the Slack group again?
Yeah.
Having
I'll
issues.
just send the link in the chat right now.
Okay.
Puts a grin across my face. These screens, tweaks up into words. Yeah, it's not failure. That's how we every road. I can feel the future forming every time. Press review. By coding the workflow, I just talk like me. I want this to be simple, send this, then set me free. I don't need the jargon, I describe what I go through. We live inside the workflow, so we know what we should do. How the workflows, we see every crack and bend. We know where the copy paste keeps stealing hours we could spend on thinking, on leading, on work that actually matters. Every tiny automation is the sound of limits.
All right, bye.
Bye, see ya.
Becoming something new, builder of the back and magic with a front row human view. I'll say it, I'll see it, plain words, both heart clear view. We're shaping how it works, and it starts with here's what I wish this would do.
All right, thank you everyone for joining. I'm gonna head off now. Have a great day.